After I got out of the military, um, when I was in the military, I wanted to finish college at a small college, and I was gonna ask my sister and my brother-in-law if I could change my mailing address to their house so I could get in-state tuition to go to New Mexico Highlands University. And I researched it. I sat and researched everything, passed for all the information. They had a good veterans connections. Most universities do. They had excellent, and we'd apply early, and I would get preferential treatment because I was a vet. So we would get family uh, campus housing, and I did everything, did all my research. And my ex-wife was very emotionally traumatized, her whole life, and she couldn't make a decision if you held a gun to her head. And so you had to make a decision for her, and then if you gave her an opportunity to make a decision, she sat there and she was that donkey on the Big Bang Theory, and so and it was always a pain in the ass. So I had to leave our address to Phoenix, so we had to go back to Phoenix, and then she complained to me. We're going back to Phoenix, and Aunt Kay's there, and everybody's there, and I told her, well, you sat there and fucked around and fucked around. We couldn't go to New Mexico because it was too late. We don't have enough time to establish ourselves economically to go sit, so now we have to go. We have to go to Phoenix. And I told her, I said, shit. I go, my mom lives in Tempe. Your aunt lives in Avondale. Okay. That's clear on the other side of town, people. It's 2 million people. 2 million. Okay. So you live in the Tempe Mesa area, and she lives in Avondale. That's on the other side of town. So if you see Aunt Kay and all them, you're going to have to go hunt them down to find them. It's pretty hard to run into each in a 2 million town on the other side of town. It's really hard to do. Unless there's a Luther Vandross concert and you all go to the Luther Vandross concert, you ain't going to run into each other. And even if you go to the Luther Vandross concert, there's going to be 12,000 people there. So the likelihood of you running into each other is pretty fucking unlikely, right? It just really isn't in the cards unless you make it in the cards, right? Unless you do that. So we ended up in Phoenix, and my ex-wife used the system to financially torture and abuse me and Patrick. It was a liberal community. Yeah. She was a black lesbian. I was a white heterosexual, and she would go to the office and tell lies, and they would fuck us over, and me and Patrick ended up in the projects, always in perpetual debt, having to ask Dad for Grandpa for money. And it was horrible. I told him, Dad, we didn't have enough money to survive because she was always lying to the state, and the state was taking all my money. When I married Amy was crying in the courtroom. We went in there and we went to go get stuff, and I wanted to cry. I had overpaid. Stephanie wanted all this money from me from back child support while I was taking care of my son, and she was out at the lesbian bars partying. And we had overpaid by almost $6,000. I wanted to cry because I was like, God damn, we were living in the projects. I had to run Crips out of the apartments that stole from single mothers and beat their baby mamas. And I was so mad. It's like, God, we could have been living I could have afforded my own house and bought my own house. I worked at a Fortune 500 company because of my college and my military service. I got fucked over by the system. It was the liberals. Yeah. Growing up to try to get in college, I got fucked over by the system. It was the Mormons. It was here in Las Cruces. And so every time I tried to get ahead and tried to do right, the system just fucked me. Instead of getting angry at the system and taking it out on the system, I just remained consistent and faithful to what I was raised to do that was right. Like Sister Snow with the Mormon Church. and my friends and family, and then my friends in the service, all the good Marion Montalvo, Sergeant Montalvo, Parsons, you're a good friend. Well, Montalvo, in order to have good friends, you got to be a good friend, you know. And I've been that way ever since. And that's what gets me through. Is just, I've been fucked over and fucked over and fucked over and fucked over. I've been the product of a science project from corporations, both conservative and liberal, that just fuck me and then keep me here in Las Cruces anonymously as if I don't even exist. They mock me. They sit and laugh at me and tell me, you're never going to... They did it in Sierra Vista, Arizona, at Fort Huachuca, when they had us move there. And everybody was having sex with my ex-wife because she was sexually groomed as a child by military intel. Well, and their big thing, he's a pussy, he's a pussy, he's a pussy. He can't stop anything, he can't do anything. You're like, I went online and told everybody what was happening, and no one responded. And then I get people in the military, all the military guys, and then all their pervert scientists. You're a pervert. You're stupid. You're a liar. He's a pussy. He can't protect anybody from anything. The only thing that protects us is virtue. Kindness, strength, consistency, the beauty of a beautiful person that remains beautiful no matter how disgusting, selfish, and evil people treat them. Okay? That's the only thing that keeps us human beings instead of animals. Okay? It's the only thing that keeps us from mass murdering each other in the streets, because we have that fucking CIA movie with Lawrence Fishburne and the kid from Queen, right? And you turn on the TV and you got the Evil Dead, the Walking Dead, the murdering this, the murdering that, the working man, the macho man. I got to be a professional wrestling, boxing, UFC fucktard, right? And then they get on, the one guy grabs a gun and says, I'm going to get paid money, and have everybody say, wow, thank you for your service to get through this hell. Why don't you stand up for the Lord's Prayer and be a man like me instead of a murdering trained dog by all the people that I'm your little pussy face and give me money for sex? And then people, you're insulting me. Oh, for crying out loud, I've never been insulted a day in my fucking life. I thought it was fun when all the people at Fort Huachuca used to have sex with my wife and pass around on underground chat rooms and talk shit about me behind my back. One of my friends, Al G, told me, I don't know how you do it. They've got underground chat rooms in this place where people go watch people have sex. Yeah, I know. He goes, I don't know how you do it. If I couldn't get sex from my girl, I'd go get it somewhere else. I said, I don't have that luxury, Alan. I'm a father. Okay. I'm a dad. Right? I don't have that luxury. You took my kids away. You fucked my wife. You murdered my mom and my sister-in-law. You've mentally and emotionally abused my entire family with your science projects that stay one step ahead of their sanity with more money-making pimp Daddy Nash. Fuck you for insanity sites in the city got people crying, lying, and dying, and they do it in the country too because everybody has homes, fast, super speed internet, right? I don't have to kill you. I just have to let you live and brush your teeth in the morning and tell yourself exactly what you are and look at me and say, you'll never be successful at having us be good people. Well, that's not my issue. That's your issue. All right. I love you, little bastards and bitches. Peace.